Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So we are back up and running with The Flash for this season, as we just had the return episode from that long, unforeseen, extended, wow, it took so long hiatus with episode 16, which saw the return of Ragdoll, which was really cool. There was a lot of pushing of the plot forward with Black Hole, as well as the mixtape from Iris, or Mirror Iris, throughout the episode, which concluded with the quite, I guess, fierce or hot diss track that she delivered or dropped to our boy Barry Allen, which did result in him leaving their apartment 5, not apartment 4, but also with Barry leaving, he was very suspicious of her Mirror Iris, or just Iris to him, mainly due to her bringing up pretty much him being responsible for both of them losing their parents. Like, I think everyone agreed with that. The comment section on my review for the episode, as well as even just the trailer breakdown for the next episode, pretty much like, wow, like that was just a bit crazy there. And it's obviously Barry's, if he doesn't notice then wow, he's a bit of an idiot. So Iris would never say that, but Mirror Iris would. So Barry's suspicions levels should be at an all-time high right now. But in the lead up to the return of the Flash, Hartley Sawyer, who we should all know, of course, plays Ralph Dibny, or aka the Elongated Man, on the Flash, did an interview with, I think it was CBR.com, I think that's where it originates, where he revealed some stuff to come later this season, as well as potential future stuff in future seasons or crossovers. So we are going to be going over all of that in this video, but of course throughout the video, be sure to let me know all of your various opinions and stuff in the comment section down below, all your thoughts down there. And here's a special question. Let me know, or just a thing to put in the comments, let me know your favorite Ralph Dibny moment from the show since he was brought in. Let me know in the comment section down below, because I think this might be varied. I think I can think of one off the top of my head, which I think people might write. I'm not going to say it right now because everyone will write it, but I can think of one. And I'll try and find the first person who says it and give them a heart in the comment section, if you can try and think what I'm thinking. But yeah, let me know that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to drop a like on it to show support and I guess excitement for what's to come. So yeah, we're just going to go through not everything in this interview. I will leave the interview linked in the description down below, but I'm only going to go through about half of it because some of it is just some old stuff or stuff that isn't really relevant to the show at this point. So yeah, we're going over about 50% of the interview, so let's go. We recently learned Barry is losing his speed because of the death of the Speed Force. How will we see Ralph step up in the remaining episodes of the season? Yeah, we are. He has grown so much since we first met him, and he's really come into his own as a hero and as a man as well. So he's there. I mean, he's there for Team Flash no matter what. Anything that Barry is unable to do, there's no doubt that, and this is, I think, why the show has lived so long, that it's the family. It's the Flash family, and it really is a team and a family. So he's there to help Killer Frost, Caitlin, Cisco, and everybody with anything that they may need in terms of Barry starting to lose his speed. But that's also going to impact everybody in a way. We saw some of this in pre-Crisis with 606, or episode 6 of season 6, with the James Bond episode where Elongated Man got the emblem and everything like that and was designated the protector of Central City and all that. Crisis kind of prepared them, I think, in ways that they didn't expect for the death of the Speed Force. It prepared them in a way for this, and it deepened their relationship too, which I think is what's so special about this team and about the show, is all the trials they face to deepen the relationship amongst the core group. So just quickly on this, I know a lot of people complain about like there being actual Team Flash and like why Barry isn't like, it's just a show not about Barry. Hartley pretty much explains why. If it was just Barry, it wouldn't work. Like he'd have no one to bounce off if he's facing an issue. There's no one really to help him with that issue, or even, I know it sounds weird because it's a show called Flash, but rise above Barry, maybe solve that issue themselves. Team Flash needs to exist. Sure, there can be too many people, but I think at the moment, in regards to who's actually in Team Flash and who goes out and fights crime, I think they got the perfect number. I think it works for the show at the moment. But it's also what makes I think Flash, in regards to Team Flash, maybe stand out more in regards to how well it works compared to other shows. I'm not going to name them, but you might be able to pick out who they are. They might be on a certain streaming service where they face issues, but doesn't really help the characters. It just splits the characters up constantly, and then they come back together and they just split up again. With Team Flash, it's sort of the opposite. They'll have an issue, but it usually bonds their relationship even more, and they'll come together after it. So it works well with Team Flash and the Flash family in regards to that. So I think Hartley's bang on about what he speaks about there. What's your favourite memory from your scenes with Natalie? So he's talking about Natalie Dreyfus, who plays Sue Dibny, or Sue Dearborn, I might say. I love in 612 when Ralph is getting dunked in the bucket by the big, strong, bad guy and he's like drowning him to death. We see him through the water and everything like that. Then he pops up and the first time we see this side of her was like, oh wait, she's a total badass. When she does that amazing martial arts kick and takes the guy out. That moment from her, I remember this on set when she's like, you still want me to wait in the car? I lost it. I was like, that's so pitch perfect, just pitch perfect. The way she did that and it was just so perfect for the character, I thought that's a specific moment that I remember being like, yeah, she's nailing this. Now for me, I do actually like what they're doing with Sue on the show. It is different from the comics. They're making her more of like a bit of a badass, like what's the term, like a femme fatale, I think is like what you would call her. That's probably the best way to describe it. I think it works better for like the plot line they're going for in regards to how Sue plays into the show. It's different from the comics. Like Sue's almost in the vein of Iris, I guess, from the comics, sort of similar to that. So they're going a bit different, but I think that's good because then she'd be just like Iris. So make her a bit different if you're going to do like another relationship sort of thing. In tonight's episode, Ralph and Sue cross paths again. How has his attitude towards her changed since their last encounter? When we left Ralph in 612, he was angry. He was not happy. I think he was determined to bring her down, and he remains on that path, determined to really pin her down and find out what she's about and bring her to justice and all of that. I think in many ways, he's also really angry at himself that he didn't see that coming, you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of anger there with what he went through last year with Sherlock Wells and all of that and coming into his own as a detective. I think for him internally, there's a lot of, how could I not have seen this coming? How could I be so stupid and so naive? So yeah, as we saw in like the last time Ralph and Sue had an interaction, Ralph took quite the L. Like that was a big L for Ralph, but bit of a dub as well because he's potentially met. I think we all know where it's going to go later in its life in regards to Sue and Ralph, but he's met his future wife. So bit of a dub, but also a bit of an L. So bit of both. The best of both worlds, I guess you could say. But speaking of the future of Ralph and Sue, how do you hope fans will feel about Ralph and Sue by the end of the season? That is a very, very hard question for me to answer without risking my employment, which I love very much. What I want them to feel, I can't say what I want them to feel because then they would give way too much. I think I was meant to say that would give away too much, but I can tell you what I know they're going to feel. They're going to feel a variety of different emotions that they don't expect. There's going to be certain things where it's like, yeah, but, oh yes, but It's very hard for me to answer that without giving too much away, but there are going to be things that are expected, and there are going to be some things that I think 99.9% of people would never guess in a million years. So this actually surprises me. Does that say what we think might happen with Ralph and Sue might happen, but then there's also some things that we think might not happen that will happen, which will do the opposite. I'm intrigued by that because I think we all assume that just they're going to be together, but maybe, I don't know, maybe there's going to be a bit of a twist in there. I mean, I'm interested to see how that goes then. Ralph and Caitlin / Frost have been getting pretty close over the course of the season. How does their dynamic continue to evolve over the last few episodes? We saw last year that the relationship between Caitlin and Ralph specifically deepened so much. You know, we've seen Ralph and Killer Frost together. We saw that in Season 4 and in Season 5, and now with Frost this year, it's very much just an extension. He sees her as an extension of Caitlin. He cares so much for Caitlin, they have such a deep friendship. In many ways, Caitlin and Joe were really the first people on Team Flash who welcomed him and helped him if you go back to Season 4. So they have a very, very strong bond, and there's nothing that he wouldn't do for Caitlin or for Frost. I mean, there's no question about that, and we're going to see a little more of that come into play. I think it's in 6/17, so that would be, I believe, next week. We're going to have some Frost and Ralph stuff happening there and continue to work that along. I just love those two characters together because a little different now, but in the past, Killer Frost is so intimidating to everybody, and you know, if she puts her hand up, he's intimidated, but he's just never been thrown by Killer Frost, and I've always loved that. So, just quickly, nothing really to do with what Hartley said there. There's been a lot of talk about in regards to when does Caitlin or Frost leave the show because of Danielle Pennebaker's pregnancy. Apparently because the show's shortened for this season and it finishes on episode 19, she's there till the end of the season. So, yeah, she's not going to miss an episode outside of this week, but they've been doing that the entire season. Like, some people just miss certain episodes. So she's there until the end of the season in regards to Caitlin being there presently. So, yeah, not going to miss any episodes with Caitlin, not going to randomly make her go away. And finally, the last thing that Hartley was asked in this interview was, so in the comics, Elongated Man is a member of the Justice League. When will he join the Arrowverse's post-crisis superhero team? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I really don't have an answer for that. That's something I've thought about, something I've brought up a little bit. Look, I think there's a lot of things that on a long enough timeline, we get there. Sue was definitely one of the things when Ralph first came into Season 4. We knew on a long enough timeline, we're going to get to Ralph and Sue. I think that what you just mentioned may fall under that aspect as well, but you know, along that timeline, there are innumerable things that that we could get to. Now with this, it would be cool if Ralph got there. Like Ralph's been a part of it and stuff like that, in the comics and stuff like that. But I think with this, the quote unquote Justice League in the Arrowverse, I think it wouldn't be too surprising if it goes there. I think in the crossovers to come, even if they're like mini crossover, there's going to be like exchangeable members. So maybe like Martian Manhunter's not there one time, so they can put someone in there. Or maybe every single time they team together, there is an extra member or two who's a part-time member of this quote-unquote Justice League. And I could see Ralph easily going in there and filling that role. I'm sure there's other members of other shows where they could, slot into that, part-time member of the Justice League as well. But I am curious whether they're actually ever going to call it Justice League on the shows and the crossovers. I'd love it. Maybe they could just call it Justice Society, not call it the JSA, but just call it like Justice Society, and you get the drift of it all. Hopefully they can do it, and I'd love to see Ralph be a part of it. I think he deserves it. I think he's a good enough hero to be a part of that. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this interview with Hartley Sawyer from CBR.com. As I said, the link to it will be in the description down below. If you enjoyed the video, want to leave a like on it, would be greatly appreciated if you could do that. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what we went over, and as I said before, let me know your favorite Ralph moment in the comments. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.